Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. For Valentine's Day, a lot of people get roses, probably the #1 flower.
I still like cut flowers, don't get me wrong, but like you said, with some of these other plants, they can really come in your home and brighten those areas up, especially during the winter months of the year. And so I thought I would explore some of those options. The first one I wanted to talk about, it's a Florist Cyclamen, and it's a popular house plant that you might find either in the garden centers or, you know, the florist. A lot of times they'll purchase those, but it has a really cute heart-shaped leaf to it, and so it's the perfect contrast, especially to the blooms that it provides. A really attractive looking bloom. You can find it in popular Valentine's Day colors like red, white, and pink. I don't know which one's your favorite, but it's still a beautiful, very attractive house plant. And you know, a lot of times with house plants, you want to make sure to not overwater this one. Make sure you let it dry out in between waterings, but still that one's a really nice plant that you can find for right around the Valentine's Day holiday. The other one I wanted to talk about, Joanna, is Kalanchoe. This one is more of a succulent type plant, so it has more of a fleshy leaf to it, but still very attractive. What I like about this one is that it's easy to care for. So if you're giving it to somebody that might not feel super confident in, you know, keeping it alive or keeping it looking attractive, it's very easy to care for. So Kalanchoe, it can come in a lot of colors. A lot of times I like those bright colors too. So if you kind of want to have other options of colors, you can find it in bright yellow. I think you can find it in bright orange, but definitely red and some of the other colors.
Is that the flower has like little small clusters of flowers?
It does.
That kind of gives
Yes.
off a big shout of color with all these little bitty ones.
Yeah, so it is a little bit different, you know, as far as the delicacy of the flowers. So don't rule out Kalanchoe because it is pretty cool. The other one I wanted to talk about is orchids. Now, if you're wanting to be a little exotic, I guess, this one is very nice. You can find it for this time of year. The one that typically does the best for us as far as the orchids are the Phalaenopsis orchids, which are also called moth orchids. And so this one is super easy to care for if you look at all the other orchid options. So if you're leaning towards that, maybe you want to look for that particular type.
Because orchids have the reputation of being very finicky and high maintenance.
Yeah, but if you're looking for the moth orchid, then you're probably going to be better off than some of the others. But definitely with this one, it needs bright, indirect light. So generally the areas of your home that it's going to work best in is your kitchen and your bathroom. And so with this one, sometimes you want to increase the humidity with it. You can either put it on a tray of pebbles with a little bit of water that increases that humidity for this particular houseplant of orchids, or you can mist it. But still, orchids, you don't have to water it, but just weekly. And so it's a little bit easier to care for, especially if you're going for that one. I wanted to also talk about this time of year, you can also find forced bulbs. A lot of times these companies that provide this for this time of year, you can find pre-chilled bulbs that they've been forced. So we're talking about hyacinth bulbs, real bright, you know, purple blooms, really fragrant too. And you can find daffodils that have been done that way. I know I have a sister-in-law, she loves tulips, so a lot of times, you know, tulips are also available. And then the last one I wanted to talk about, and it's super fun, it's called Hoya Plant. It's actually a sweetheart Hoya plant. I think it's called Hoya kerrii. And so with this particular plant, it's actually a leaf cutting, and it's perfectly situated. I mean, real glossy green, heart-shaped leaf that's in, you know, it's really small, but you know, as long as you keep it, it'll keep growing. So it's a popular one that I feel like would fit most everybody. Pretty inexpensive. So if you're looking for a little small gift to give somebody in your life, I feel like that one would be really appropriate.
Now, is it a succulent, Kristin?
It is a succulent, yeah. There's actually two types with this one. It's actually more of a vining plant. So the older plant, it actually has more of a vine to it, but that cute little heart shape, you just can't pass it up. I know I'm a sucker for that. So, you know, with a lot of these plants though, I mean, they're going a little bit beyond the roses, but very blooming, very, you know, different.
And so if you have a gardener friend who loves to like perennials and have plants for a longer period of time, this might be the option to go.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun just even talking about it. But, you know, if you need care tips or anything like that, please reach out to us at the Extension office and we'll be glad to help.
All right, Kristin, we'll certainly appreciate the information to make sure that you get the right plant for your Valentine. We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show, and we'll see you next time.